ReZero Season 3 just started last week with a full 90-minute episode, and this arc is going to be the best one for the series so far. If you haven't seen ReZero, it's about Subaru Natsuki, who's on the screen there, getting randomly isekai to this other world, and he's just a regular guy. But part of what makes this series so good and what makes him special is that he is just a regular guy, and his only ability that he has that makes him unique is an ability called Return by Death, which he can't control, and he doesn't know the limit of it. So essentially the way that it works is kind of like a video game, but for some reason when he gets to a certain point and dies, he goes back to that same point over and over. So anything that he messes up permanently, he can't just fix, because he doesn't control the ability, it was just forced onto him. The other thing that the show does really well is make it feel like every death is consequential. Like he is suffering, he's going through trauma, it's painful, he's afraid every time he dies. It's a big deal. It's not something where he just is casually like, oh, this didn't work out, I'll just kill myself. It's very weighty every time that he dies, and you get to see the changes that he makes through each loop. I know some people thought the second season was kind of slow because it covered one arc for the whole season, so you get a lot of repetition that way. And this season also covers one arc, but this is the best arc in the whole series so far, at least for the English books that have been translated officially. Right now, the English books just finished the arc after this, which was not nearly as good. And all the ones prior to this, most of them are shorter, and they have a lot of really good moments, but they're also not as good. This one is really action-packed, and a bunch of characters from the previous seasons are involved. So you get to see all kinds of abilities. He actually proves to be pretty clever during this season. And something that's pretty cool is we see a little bit throughout the show, his knowledge does matter from his prior life in Japan in this world. And we don't quite know why yet, but he's able to use the knowledge he acquired from his first life into this reincarnated one. And the show does a really good job also of making sure you understand that there are consequences for him leaving his previous life, even though it wasn't his choice. But it does address the guilt that he feels, the cultural differences. If you're a person who didn't like the first season, I get why, because he's got some really cringy moments. But this season will be the best one. You get to meet multiple witches, which is awesome. You obviously, if you've seen the first episode of season 3, you saw Reinhard and Julius, the little tiger people. You see a couple of the other queen candidates because there's 5 of them. So this season is just loaded character-wise, and it's loaded action-wise. And if they stick to the light novels, this will be the best animated season. So I'm pretty excited about it. And from what I've seen of people who read the fan translations and stuff, they still think that this arc is like the best part of the whole series. And this one also really has the culmination of the development of a lot of his relationships kind of coalescing into this one big arc. And they all have their own distinct personalities and roles. And because he has this return by death ability, you get to see him use those to the best of his ability to try to get through things and struggle as the season goes on. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll keep talking vaguely. I'll just keep the video short. But obviously you've seen Reinhard and Priscilla and Julius all in this place, so you get to see them all fight. If you saw the first episode, you saw the Witch of Sloth show up, so you get to see how creepy her ability is and how it gets used and manipulated. In the last 10 minutes of the ending of the first episode for season 3, you can see how it drives everyone crazy. It's pretty awesome. I don't want to say too much, but you get to see, I think, 4 witches this season, and a couple of them seem super overpowered. So the way that he has to fight against them is really amusing. You got kind of teased with one that you probably recognize from the previous season already. So you've already met 2, and it only gets better from there because all of their abilities are really unique, but super destructive. And the author does a really good job where they all have this kind of creepy tinge to their personality and their abilities. And I'm going to keep it short because I'm being so vague and it's really hard to talk without ruining things. But I am going to give one vague spoiler about a certain character. So if you don't want to hear it, here's a few seconds for you to check out so you don't hear it. So the vague spoiler is about Rem. She's a fan favorite if you haven't seen the show, and she will not be back this season. So there's your warning if you were getting your hopes up and you're an anime only. I won't say anything else about her, but you should just know that much. But yeah, I'll leave it there for this one. If you've read the books and already know what's going to happen, let me know what you think. Is this the best arc so far? For me, it is. Out of the 27 books that I've read, this is the best arc in the series. Yeah, I try to respond to all the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.